Damascus, the oldest continuously inhabited city on earth, erupted in celebration. After almost 5 decades, the Assad dynasty had fallen. On December 13, 2024, news agencies around the world confirmed that Bashar al-Assad was no longer in Syria. His rule, brutal and bloody, had finally come to an end. The streets of Damascus, scarred by years of conflict, were suddenly filled with music and dancing. Syrians, who had endured unimaginable suffering, dared to hope again. The air crackled with a sense of liberation, a collective exhale after years of living under oppression. For many, it was the culmination of years of struggle and sacrifice, but amidst the jubilation there was a somber undercurrent. The ghosts of the past hung heavy. The faces of those lost, those who were tortured, disappeared or killed, were ever present. The celebrations were a testament to their sacrifice, a reminder of the human cost of the struggle against tyranny. This was not just the end of a regime, it was the end of an era defined by the iron fist of the Assad family. First, Hafez al-Assad, who seized power in 1971, ruling with an iron fist for 29 years. Then his son, Bashar, who inherited the presidency and continued his father's legacy of repression. The downfall of the Assad regime didn't happen overnight. It was the result of a meticulously planned, year-long plot orchestrated by Syrian rebel groups. These groups, once fractured and disparate, had united under a common goal to rid Syria of Assad's tyranny. Details of the plot remain shrouded in secrecy, but its success is a testament to the rebels' resilience and strategic acumen. The rebels, however, were not alone in their struggle. The Syrian civil war, which began in 2011 as a series of peaceful protests inspired by the Arab Spring, had drawn in external actors. Russia, a long-standing ally of the Assad regime, intervened militarily in 2015, bolstering Assad's forces and turning the tide of the war in his favor. But the rebels persisted, adapting their tactics and exploiting the vulnerabilities of the regime. They understood that a direct military confrontation with Assad's forces, bolstered by Russian air power, would be futile. Instead, they focused on undermining the regime from within, exploiting its corruption and internal divisions. The rebels' strategy proved effective. The regime, weakened by years of war and sanctions, became increasingly isolated. The final blow, according to sources within the Syrian opposition, was a carefully orchestrated coup within the regime's inner circle. In the aftermath of the regime's collapse, the true extent of its brutality is only beginning to emerge. Mass graves, torture chambers, and secret prisons, grim testaments to the regime's reign of terror. The stories of survivors are harrowing, tales of unspeakable cruelty and suffering. One such story is that of Mazen al-Hamada, a young activist who dared to speak out against the regime. Arrested in 2012, Mazen disappeared into the labyrinthine network of the regime's detention centers. His family, like countless others, spent years searching for him, clinging to hope even as it dwindled with each passing day. Mazen's remains were finally identified in a mass grave discovered outside Damascus. His funeral, attended by thousands, was a stark reminder of the human cost of the conflict. It was also a powerful symbol of the ongoing search for Syria's disappeared, a quest for truth and justice that is only just beginning. Mazen's story is not unique. It is one of thousands, each a tragic testament to the brutality of the Assad regime. The task now facing Syria is not only to rebuild its shattered infrastructure, but also to heal the deep wounds of the past. With the fall of the Assad dynasty, Syria enters a new chapter, fraught with both promise and uncertainty. The road ahead will be long and arduous. The country lies in ruins, its economy shattered, its social fabric torn apart. Millions have been displaced, both internally and externally, creating a refugee crisis of unprecedented proportions. The political landscape is equally uncertain. The opposition, though united in their goal of ousting Assad, is a diverse collection of groups with differing ideologies and visions for the future. The question now is whether they can forge a unified front and chart a course for a democratic and inclusive Syria. The international community also has a crucial role to play. After years of witnessing Syria's descent into chaos, the world cannot turn its back now. Reconstruction will require a massive international effort, not just in terms of financial aid, but also in providing humanitarian assistance and supporting the process of political transition. The fall of the Assad regime is a watershed moment in Syrian history. It is a victory for the Syrian people, but it is only the beginning of a long and difficult journey. The future of Syria remains unwritten, but one thing is certain: The Syrian people, who have endured so much, deserve a future of peace, freedom, and dignity. Please subscribe to this channel and comment below with your thoughts on Syria's future.